watch me add some gold embossing powder to the top of this piece of paper, this cardstock that I have embossed, I want to do a massive thank you to Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life for allowing me to participate in the best of 30 days of sketches. Now, I'm a newbie to YouTube, as everybody knows, and when I saw this come up, I thought, you know what? I'm going to throw myself in. I don't follow sketches, okay? I'm very much a wild child when it comes to creating pages. They just come out of my head. I struggle to follow a sketch. So, keep that in mind. Now, the rules stated anything goes, right? As long as the sketch that you can see that I've popped up there in the right-hand corner, and yes, it is moving slightly. It's going up. That's the sketch, and it is from Susan Stringfellow, and I will have her linked in the bio below. I will have her linked in my description, I should say. Excuse me. Below. Now, what did I take from this? I decided to use the PINKFRESH Happy Days collection because it's new to me and I absolutely love it. But I wanted to bring in something different. So, to be completely honest with you, the only thing I took from this sketch was the pieces of different colours going down. That's the only bit I took from the sketch. I've realised that I'm really bad at following and copying other people's things. But hey, I tried, and if you're new to my channel and you're having a look, stick around. This video is slightly longer than I normally would make my videos. I did it specifically because I've actually done several different techniques all on this one page. So I've used an embossing folder, which is just an old one that I got from a $2 shop. It was literally $2, and I love it. It's called Intricate Background, and it's by PORTACRAFT. I've never ever seen another one anywhere. I've never even seen the brand anywhere else. But what I decided to do is, when I saw this particular drawing, and this is for day 4, so this is the 4th of June, this will be going up, Australian time. I wanted to use, because I never bought the entire pack, I never bought the entire collection, I should say, but I really love this piece of paper, and I only bought one. No, maybe I bought 2. No, I think I only bought 1. Anyway, so what I did is I cut it in half. So I'm going to get 2 pages out of the one beautiful piece of paper. So as you can see there, I've just curved the edges and I've made it look like it was the whole piece. And I've just chipped out a little bit around it and so on and so forth. And here's where I just go in and play. This is how I had a little bit of a play, and then I figured, you know what, this is going to require either watercolor or ink or something. So just down that one side. So what you see me putting on there is clear gesso, and it's the Finnabair Art Basics gesso. And I just wanted to, I want, if you look at the colors, so the color palette is actually very pastel. Now, I had to use my old Think machine to figure out how I'm going to get these colors and get them to match. Now, the inks down the side, I went backwards and forwards and I played off camera, and I managed to come up with, by combining a couple of the inks, I actually came up really, really close to the colors. So this is where I look a little bit unco because I don't really want to move it, but I want to get the ink down next to where the colours are that I've cut out. So at the moment I've actually combined Speckled Egg and Tumbled Glass. I know, right? If you've got these inks, you'll be thinking to yourself, they're pastel. Speckled Egg, where does that even come in? It gives that undernote that is more, I'm going to sound a little weird here. I'm going to use a cooking reference. It's kind of like an undernote. It's like a savory undertone, if that makes sense. It's, instead of it just being all bright colors or pastel colors, or it's not a color directly. I just had to combine them, and I had to do the same with the green, because if you look at the green, if you have this collection yourself, the green is not just a true pastel green. It's kind of more of a sage, and the yellow is not a bright yellow either. So I used scattered straw for that one, and I combined, okay, the scattered straw, I just really diluted it, like incredibly diluted it, and then I came back in over the top to darken the upper portion. See how I'm doing it there? I'm just working its way down. So I didn't want this to take over the whole piece of cardstock. Excuse me, it's first thing in the morning here. I've had a massive weekend. Wow. It was a big weekend here in Australia, and I actually helped out with some elections, and boy oh boy, talk about exhausted. I was absolutely exhausted yesterday. There was no, I did nothing. I vegetated. I didn't even enter my craft room, which for me is bizarre. So today I'm back on track and I'm doing this. Now, this is the orange. So with the orange, I ended up using dried marigold and just added a little bit darker, and so I sort of used it like a wash at the top, and then I just got it a bit darker as it came down. And this is the one that's going to surprise you. The pink. Right here, right now, you're looking at that and it's pink, right? But you know what? In my mind, I thought spun sugar for sure. Absolutely 100% spun sugar will be it. It's not. It's actually milled lavender. And milled lavender is the perfect shade for it. I know, it's bizarre. Yet it's pink. But it works. So don't stress about the sketch that's up the top, guys. I am playing with how long I'm going to leave it up there, but that's for you to check out. If you want to play along, you want to use the sketch, I will also have it over on my Instagram page, and it'll go up on the 4th as well, so you can follow along, and you can follow along with the hashtag. What's the hashtag? Let me see. Hashtag best of 30 DSCBL. I'll have that in the description as well. So see, now once it's dried, look how perfect those colors are. I could not believe how perfect they were. Now, I did this for a little bit of definition. You can't really pick it up here, but in the close-ups you can. I'm just using a fine 0.7mm white Posca pen, and it turned out, up close you can see it, and it gives, because there's a stitch line through it, I wanted to sort of make them more into blocks to separate them from each. I didn't want to cut them in half, like I didn't want to cut them all up. I wanted to keep it in a strip, but I wanted it to have more separation. So that's why I'm doing this. To be quite honest, it didn't make that much difference, but when you look at it, like there you can see that there's that white line. Now, this is where things get interesting. So I've run this white paper, this white cardstock. What one was it? It was just a plain white cardstock. No texture, nothing. And I ran it through using the same embossing folder, and which is called intricate background. Now it actually worked really, really well. I love embossing folders. I'm just scuffing up the edges now. Create. This would have been easier if I did all it before. All I did was I went along and put those extra slots. I cut them into thin strips. But I am using variegating strips, edge distresser. So they're all about the same length. Definitely, at this point. It leaves it different, and it kind of rolls the edge more than that vary. So, anyway, I love using that tool. And so I've got all my white textured pieces, and I've just sort of scattered them varyingly with their different widths. So this is the part that I took from the sketch. Apologies for that bing bong. Okay, so I'm not using one photo, I'm using two. I'm using square photos, not a 4x6. And what I'm doing here, these are the strips that were embossed with the same embossing folder, but I just got my Versamark ink pad, and I just shimmed over the very top of it. So just the raised up bits got the ink pad on there, and then I just embossed with the gold ink. Now I only used the Crafter's Choice gold embossing powder. It's not anything fancy. I buy it from Spotlight, and it's super. I've had it forever. It goes forever. Oh, and typically you go to scrap, and what happens? Your tape runner runs out every time. So, so I'm getting to the point now. This is where I struggled. I thought, how am I going to get all these to just sit in the right way? So I run a bit of tape runner up the back of the coloured piece, and I tried to get all the other little bits underneath to stick to it. In theory, as you can see, I just wanted them to all have equal distance from each other. But yeah, it worked in the end. I just made it look hard to start with. But I really, really love how this turns out. This page is easily my favourite so far this month. I absolutely love it. When I say this month, I made this in May. So, yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. So here I am trying to figure out, I think I had too many gold pieces, and I was trying to fit them all on, and that's when I realised the old adage, put everything on and take something off, and then it'll be just right. So that's what I did. That's what I intended to do. I'm just using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to adhere these down. The ink is all dry, everything's dry. Now, you're probably looking at this thinking, her page doesn't look 12 by 12. If you're new to my channel, I'll let you know. I store all my albums are actually Creative Memories albums. The ones that I'm currently using up are, the pages are only 11.5 wide. So I always have to take half an inch off my 12 by 12 before I start, because I have done many pages where I haven't done it at the beginning, and then I have to massacre the page when I put it into my album. So, wasn't fun. Okay, so what I'm doing here, because there's so much texture with the embossing folders, I'm actually raising up the photos just a little bit. I'm just using my fun foam, craft foam, which I can't seem to find any more of. And so I'm just gluing down my photos, because I know 100% that's exactly where I want them to be. So I'm just going backwards and forwards, adding some foam. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to put any of the embossing strips on top of my photos or under them. And I ended up going with under, because otherwise it takes away from the photo. And look at my baby. She's so beautiful. She's nowhere near this age anymore, by the way. This was back in 2011. So now I have fussy cut some flowers from one of the papers in the collection. I have both the numbers written down. However, I don't know which one's which. Not off the top of my head. Have a look in the description and you'll see which papers I used. Now, I'm just adding a little bit here and a little bit there, slowly but surely. And I'm wanting to sort of add the florals to complement where it's at. Now, that's why I've used an orange to the left of the bottom photo, just so that the orange sort of blends. It's not really tone on tone. It is when you go to the ink and the rectangles. It's tone on tone. But the florals, I didn't do it like that. I didn't put too many leaves on here either, because my style of scrapbooking, for anyone that is new to my channel, either a new subscriber, hi and thank you, or if you're just popping on here and having a quick look, I'd love it if you subscribed before you left so that you get notified when I upload a new video. 9 times out of 10, I get 5 videos up a week at least. The past weekend I didn't do any scrapping at all because I was busy. However, it's Monday. It's still raining here in Queensland. I swear, even ducks are leaving. I'm sure of it. It is crazy. The amount of water that we have had. Whew. It's nuts. It just won't stop raining. Anyway. That's depressing. Let's not worry about it. I love a good rainy day because it's crafty and I love crafting. But I think I heard something. Here's a laugh for you. I actually heard this on the news this morning. We have had more wet weekends since the 1st of January than we have had dry weekends. Now that is some serious rain. When you break it down like that, you just sort of, because when you're living it, you just go, oh yeah, it's raining again. Oh, it's raining again. Huh. When you hear it like that, it's like, I thought so. Everything's just damp. It's shocking. Okay, so I was just gluing those down, so I went on a bit of a tangent. Now, this is going to be my border. So everyone who follows me knows I love to add borders to my pages. All my pages, lots of my pages, they have borders. But with this one, I thought, I can't do a black border. What am I going to do? So I decided I'm going to tone on tone, and I'm going to line up all the way around the outside how the colours come down. So, and I did add, you got to be proud of me. I've got some splatters on there. I actually did some splatters. I struggle with splatters. Oh, I'm so OCD when it comes to, I need to have control. So to me, an enamel dot or even Nuvo drops, that to me, there's more control. When I've done a page like this, having no control over where the splatters land, it bothers me. I struggle. See, I'm literally holding the brush so close that there's no way it could go anywhere but where I'm putting it. But I got some splatters on there. Gwen will be proud of me. Gwen's from Cut to You Designs. She has a store if you like Cutfiles, and she has some beautiful Cutfiles, honestly. And we were having a bit of a joke the other week about having splatters. She did splatters, and I'm like, oh, you did splatters? They look so good. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. And she's like, I know you could. You really could. So I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to try and do the splattering thing. So this cardstock that I'm working on at the moment is just flat white. It's not textured or anything like that. So I've just added my, oh, this is where I realized, whoops, forgot the pink or the milled lavender. So I added that on the bottom, and at this point I was getting so excited. I cannot wait to share this page with you guys. I really can't. It turned out so nice, so lovely. I want to do another one. That's how much I love it. See how the border just, it follows down. So you could almost say that it was another piece of the collection. All right. My title I cut on my Cricut Explore Air 2, and I used the font Love Spell, and I made a 0.83 offset for it as well. So what I'm doing here is I am colouring it in using the same concept. So I've pretty much used the same concept all the way along. I'm colouring the words as per where they're going to sit. So they're either over the yellow, the orange, or the milled lavender. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to sort of see where they'll sit. And what I did have to do with this, excuse me, wow, weekend's caught up with me. Okay, what I did do, and this is what I noticed, because the title is going to have the offset and it's going to be white behind it, the one coat wasn't enough. I felt like it needed, so I let it dry and then I come back and added a second layer of ink just so it popped a little bit more. So you can see me here just squeezing out my ink. And I don't have any re-inkers for these yet, so it would be, I nearly put that straight on the top, but it's not. See, that's the orange colour. That's the dried marigold, whereas the scattered straw is up the top of the letters. So yeah, but I was so happy with it. It turned out so pretty. I love my Cricut for being able to create any title I want. I'm not tied into the words that are in the thickest pile. I struggle using those. Okay, I've already added the foam because heck, that's boring to watch. So I did that. I did do a little bit of an edit. My subscribers know that I don't edit. What I do is sometimes I may need to cut a piece out, but I pretty much make everything I times it by 4 speed wise, and I leave it all in so you can see exactly what I do. If you want to slow it down, all you need to do is click on your 3 little dots on your video and you can slow down the playback speed. If there's a section you really want to slow down to see what I'm actually doing. So for me to create a video and speed it up, you still have the control to slow it down. This way it allows me to leave the whole video in here. This video is 24 minutes long. Okay, so, oh, sorry, 26 minutes long. This is probably the longest video I've ever put up. But I feel that it needed to, I think you need it. I just prefer, instead of having things all cut out and edited, I like my subscribers to know the process. And sometimes you look at a page and you think, oh, I could never do that. And it's usually just a few simple steps all put in together and it works perfectly. Look at that page, don't you just, oh, I absolutely adore it. Perfect baby page. So now I glue that down and I think then that is it. So if you are new to my channel and you've stuck around long enough to see the finished product, I would sincerely appreciate if you hit the like button, and if you watch the video through and you would like to see more of this from me, please click on the subscribe button. That way you'll be notified when I pop up a new video. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Create with Karren, and or my Facebook, which is just karren.carr. So here's a close-up for you guys, and it's literally, I just have to try and get it on the right angle so you can see the texture from the embossing. I absolutely love how this turned out. I really do. It is just stunning. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you again to Christy's Beautiful Life. And this is in conjunction with Best of 30 Days of Sketches, and thank you so very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks guys. Bye.